Okay.
Okay,
Are you ready?
we're live.
Okay. My name is Cheyenne Oswella. It's Cheyenene. Last name is Osuala. We're here to talk about Erika Shields' decision to not pursue any disciplinary action against the officers that assaulted Dee Garrett last April. When Erika Shields came to Louisville, many of us did not know she was running from accountability in Atlanta. Under her administration as chief of police of APD, at least 4 black men were murdered by police officers in her department. DeAndre Phillips, Oscar Kane, Jimmy Atchison, and a name many of us have heard, Rayshard Brooks. According to a Spectrum News article, citizens of Atlanta stated that Erika Shields' response to the shootings was insufficient and unsympathetic. Citizens also said her words and her actions never matched when it came to helping the community or making a change in the police department. It seems there's been no change in that since she ran from the fire she created in Atlanta to create a new one in Louisville. Georgia NAACP demanded that she resign for her inadequacy, and Mayor Fisher accepted her here. We cannot trust Erika Shields to uphold any kind of transparency or accountability. We cannot trust her to keep our community safe. We cannot trust her to discipline her officers when they beat citizens up on the street in broad daylight. Since she has been chief of police, violent crime has increased, public trust in the police department has decreased, and the relationships between community and police officers continue to be strained by her decisions. She has shown us that one white police officer is more important to her than every black, brown, and poor white person in the city of Louisville. She has shown us again that black lives do not matter. I can only imagine what the response would have been had Aaron Ambers killed Dee like he had attempted to do. From not showing from no showing at one of the largest community events focused on ending gun violence to allowing her officers to break not only the policies they're sworn in to follow, but the law itself. Erika Shields is not fit to continue the position of chief of police. We are calling for her immediate dismissal from her position. We are calling on the mayor's office to investigate this decision. We are calling for Aaron Ambers, Corey Galloway, who has a history of committing violent acts against community members, Stephen Payne, Mark Christensen, Sergeant Nagel, Sergeant Michael Fowler, and Sergeant Christina Bevan to be immediately terminated. And we are calling on the DOJ to appropriately charge Aaron Ambers. Instead of sending one officer to ask Dee not to get back in the crosswalk, because again, when they arrived to carry out this unlawful arrest, he was no longer in the crosswalk practicing his First Amendment right. He was on the sidewalk talking to a friend. They decided to send 4 officers and 3 sergeants, a total of 7, to ambush and beat him, and not one officer stepped in to stop this beatdown. This decision by Erika Shields shows us that we are not safe or protected from potential abuse from LMPD. Thank you.
If you could start by saying and spelling your name for us.
My name is Nancy Cavalcante, Nancy Cavalcante. I'm here today as a member of the 490 Project. So who is the 490 Project and why are we here? The 490 Project is a collective of citizens who are working hard in Louisville so that every member of our community has what they need to thrive and to be safe from police violence. We do this by collectively reimagining safety, exposing historically corrupt oppressive systems, organizing for investment in community care, and organizing for divestment from and dismantling of policing and white supremacy. It is now time to end white silence. We have for almost 2 years advocated for change and work on the Fraternal Order of Police collective bargaining agreements and the harmful clauses that are there that promote problematic policing and a lack of public safety for the citizens of our city. We're continuing this work even now. We are here today to say that there are problems with the provisions in the 2 Fraternal Order of Police contracts that were just passed this last fall, and the new ones are coming next year. The fact that an officer was allowed to demonstrate the abuse of the use of force to this situation while the city watched and then be exonerated by the chief of police is horrifying to all of us.
left Atlanta, you left Atlanta with an issue, and you're gonna come here to Louisville and set up a different program. Well, something is wrong because you need to take care of whatever situation you left in Atlanta before you came here to Louisville. But we never knew what that was. But the main objective is this: our police have to respect us even when they arrest us. You don't throw us on the ground. You don't take your fist and beat us because we are human beings and there is a way for us to be treated. How that police officer can be exonerated, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that even he knows he had no right to put his fist on D when his face was on the ground. How much further was he trying to put his face down? How far further can his face go down once it's on the ground? So morally, it was wrong, disrespect, and until the chief does not consider the books, but consider that there's a moral issue to every side of any job. Treat people the right way. Do your job, but do your job with respect. And as the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because the police came now and told me that I'm trespassing. Don't throw me on the ground. I'm a 73-year-old woman. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm a human being. I'm a child of God. So talk to me. Don't throw me down because you have the power or you have a personal bias against me. So all I want to say is that to the police officers, when you attack us physically, you attack us mentally and emotionally because this is something this child will never forget. His children will never forget. Our young boys and our kids will never forget to not only see him on the ground, but to be beat. So we're going to, being a member of the Voice of Louisville and of a praying organization, we're going to pray that the Lord will direct your hearts to do things the right way, not just any kind of way. Because judgments are not only down here, it's up there too. Thank you.
Shamika? Lily?
Say and spell your name for us.
Antonio Brown, Antonio Brown, Brown. First off, I'm gonna stop calling it police brutality because this is a hate crime. When it has to do with these European officers beating up on people of color for no reason, it's hate crimes. They are domestic terrorists. We are looking at the system itself being biased towards blacks, people of color. Every corner we hit, this is why I myself, other people like our brother D, are still out here because we have not got justice for the reason we came outside. And that was for Breonna Taylor. And we still out here asking, demanding justice for Breonna Taylor and also D, because we are not property. See, they think they can just sign away our lives with a check, and we are not going to allow that at all. It's 2022, I believe. 2020, we opened up our eyes and we came outside because we seen the injustice that's going on in our community. I'm born and raised in Louisville. I got to turn on the TV towards just last month, 15 people been shot in one day. Had to turn on my TV to this. But yet, since we've been outside, they've been over-policing the protesters and allowing murders to become let these murders that I think 90% of these murders that's been in Louisville, Kentucky have not been solved. So we got to understand what our city is under. I understand why they allow Shields to be here, the chief. I understand this because they didn't want justice, Breonna Taylor. They didn't want the city to have any change. They wanted the city to stay in the same predicament that they've been in for how long? 10 years, right? No, Mayor Fisher, we've been on this since 10 years. He was in the office last year, but he said 10 years. He's been doing this for 10 years. So we have to look at it. For 10 years, we haven't got change. Before 10 years, we haven't had change. We still waiting for justice for Emmett Till. Understand what I just said. We asking for justice for Emmett Till. This woman is still alive. We understand that we are under attack. This is a genocide. What we're dealing with is genocide. Oh my God, what are they doing to the kids in the school? We understand that this is genocide because they do not care about our kids. They do not care about our rights. If Dee would have died out there for being beat, they would not care. We would still be out here asking for demanding justice. How do everybody say this is not what we stand for, but yet no charges is being brought up on any officers in Louisville, Kentucky? Any officers? No, and we are not going to get it until we stand together, black and white, or people of color and Europeans, until we stand together and say we are not going to keep putting up with police brutality and these terrorist attacks because they are domestic terrorists. They know they are working with the Nazis or skinheads or the Klansmen, whatever you want to call it. They got so many names. They know what's going on. This is why it's so little black officers in LMPD, because they know what's going on in there, and they do over investigations on black people that's trying to come in office. So we understand this. We understand what we really seeing. We are seeing an attack on people of color by domestic terrorists that they've given badges to. Black Lives Matter. Justice for Dee.
Amen. Good job.
You say and spell your name.
All right, my name is Lily, Lillie. My last name is Mour, Mour, and I was an eyewitness to what happened to Dee that day. And the fact that LMPD has been allowed for so long to use that much force and assault a man without anybody being charged is terrifying. It's disgusting. What happened to him should have never happened. He wasn't even, whenever they came up, Dee wasn't even in the street anymore. Dee was on the sidewalk. They should have, the second they saw him, he was on the sidewalk, they should have left. That should have never escalated. LMPD is not trained how to de-escalate situations as they should be, and that is why things get brought to that level. It's horrifying. And what happened shouldn't have happened. Thank you.
Say and spell your names, please.
My name is Dee Garrett. It's Denorbert. It's Garrett, Garrett.
And I'm David Mour, last name spelled M-O-U-R.
I think everybody covered it. But I honestly want to say to Erika Shields, Aaron Ambers, from the bottom of my heart, I forgive y'all. I choose to, as I was talking to Reverend Elliott and Bishop Lyons, I choose to show love in the midst of the situation. You know, I went to my closet, and these was my glasses from that day. I think a lot of people don't really take consideration of trauma. And my PTSD is crazy. When I see an officer, it bothers me. You know, my daughter see an officer, it bothers her. But I honestly want to say to Louisville, I am having an event the weekend of Easter. Please come out. It's a basketball tournament, football tournament. Please come out and stand in unity with me. I want to show love throughout this situation. I don't want to show hate. You know, my favorite quote that Martin Luther King said, he said that hate can't cash out hate, only love can do that. So as I move forward, I don't want to march. I want to have unity events with Coach Bruce, with people of Louisville, to help bring our community together. Because if we, the men of this community, the black men, step up, that's how we change what's going on in our communities. They taking us away from our communities. They killing us. As like other people said, that was a malicious attack. If you listen to the scanner, it was planned out. If you really follow my story, me being locked up, David Bowes locked me up for 20 days with no charges. I've been under attack since I stepped foot in Louisville, Kentucky. I am a college graduate. I gave up my college football career to come down here to fight for justice for Breonna Taylor. And this is what black men in Louisville get. It's to be slammed to the ground and punched in the face 4 times.
I don't forgive those that were involved. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know. And of ironies today, I was walking down from the square, and there's on that bus shelter right there at the corner of, I guess that's 6th and Jeff. Yeah, there's a LMPD recruiting poster, and ironically, it has a black I don't know if she's an actor, if she's really an officer. It's a black female officer named Amber, of all names, on that recruiting poster. And I don't think I could say better anything else that's been said today, so I'm going to help LMPD out a little bit today. I'm going to give them a pitch for their recruiting, okay? So you have an actor standing there with a black guy, and you say, hey, you want a job? Hate black people, but want to be in law enforcement? Come on to Louisville, Kentucky. That's where you can shoot them, you can loot them, you can arrest them, you can falsely charge them, you can throw them on the ground and beat the tar out of them. We got your back. We got your back. And what we'll do is when we hire you, we'll give you a little bit of training. And then when you do what these officers did to this man, we'll come out with a statement. We'll investigate it a little bit. And we'll come out with a statement that says, well, this officer really didn't get enough training, so we're not going to hold him responsible. And the fact that you departed from the training that we did give you, that's not a violation of policy. We're going to make your sergeants go to a couple of classes, but you'll really love this job. We don't care about the Constitution. We don't care about statutory rights of black people. We don't care about human rights of black people. Have your way. You'll love this job. Come on to Louisville. 188 Terrors. How about that? Take that, LMPD. How about that? I think you'd hire a lot of white guys to come out and be police in Louisville, Kentucky. I've said, I'm on social media, I've been in the news talking about it. It's disgusting that what happened to this guy, it was pre-planned. And the other day in the Highlands, there was a serial tire slasher over on Alta Avenue. They know who he is. The neighbors saw him. They've identified him. And the police said, oh, they haven't arrested him yet. We haven't issued an arrest warrant because we're concerned about the safety of everyone involved. Well, were they concerned about the safety of Dee on April 18th or 19th, whatever it was, last year in the square? They watched it on the cameras. They saw that he was not even in the street any longer when they came down to accost him and assault him. So if you think there's not a double standard in this community for how folks are treated, and if your skin's this color, you're treated one way, and if your skin's that color, I guarantee you better watch your back, because you just may find your back on the ground with cops sitting on top of you, beating the shit out of you. Have a nice Sunday, folks.
Amen.
Is that it? Any questions? You good? Okay. Thank you, Dee.
Justice for Dee.
Did you
When
look
they was
at
out there,
Hustle
that has the
cheerleaders.
police
Yeah,
scanner
hustle
on it
cheerleaders.
from that
Walk them up, they wouldn't even
Yeah,
remember.
it has the QR code to the scanner from the day that you
I got one right here.
Where that wind was my enemy.